Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. Welcome to Building Wealth Together, where our goal is to help you walk in abundance and leave a legacy. It's Wealth Building Wednesday, where we answer your money questions with style and grace. But first, before we get to the questions today, we have a little teaching. I'm broadcasting to you from an empty house. So if it sounds kind of echoey in here, that would be why. And so I'm cleaning and packing and getting ready to move, consolidate households. I'm super excited about that. So what we're going to talk about today is I am continually finding more and more people who are making money during this time of COVID. Okay. And a lot of people are at home, and I'm not at home because I'm military by day, and I'm getting ready to retire from the military. So I'm relaunching my business by night. We've been working, and in our shop, we had to bring in extra people to keep the nation safe, right? So I'm seeing this crazy dichotomy. I'm seeing people on one hand who are adapting. They are either coming up with new ways to serve old clients, or they're finding ways to go after new clients, or they're developing new products, or a whole host of things that we're going to talk about tonight. And they are making money. All right. But then you've got folks on the other side that I'm seeing who are like, I'm so tired of watching Netflix. My business is drying up. I hate life. I hate COVID, and I want 2020 to be over. I'll be honest with you. I want 2020 to be over too. I thought 2019 was bad, but 2020 is packing a wallop. But what we're going to talk about today are some things that you can do to ensure your business survives. So if we thought it might just be a few months, now it's turning into longer, things are starting to ramp up, and you might be getting worried that you are not going to have the income to get through this time. I want to assure you there are a lot of opportunities out there. Now, some people's opportunities are coming from being astute enough to see the need and having a skill set or access to a skill set to meet that need. One of the things that we talk about in our self-image mastery class, as well as our real success mentoring program, is we talk about how we don't necessarily have to have all the skill. What we have to have is the relationships to bring the skill in. And so immediately with COVID, you see a lot of people doing personal protective equipment. You find all these people making and selling masks. You find they've even got, at my job, somebody came up with a quick company, PPEwarrior.com, and I shouldn't have given they are not sponsors. I am not recommending them, because actually that thing squirts my hand so hard I don't even like to use it. But they've got those little stations everywhere. Somebody saw a need and they met the need. There are other needs out there that are untapped, that are waiting for someone like you to solve the problem, meet the need, and help them out. And so if you don't already have a business, that's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to recommend that you look for these needs. So some of you heard on my last Wealth Building Wednesday how my husband is now buying flute guards. He's buying flute guards and other equipment that protect the band kids from their spit getting on the other kids while they're playing their instruments. For anybody who's ever been in band, and I used to play flute myself, one of the ickiest things about being in band is there is a significant amount of spit that is generated. And so most of us don't think about spit on a daily basis, but my husband, the band director and the region middle school chair for all the middle schools in his region, he has spent a lot of time talking about spit. And I'm sure there's somebody in your circles that spent a lot of time talking about this or that need that is now arising because of the need to adapt to COVID. And if you can meet that need, aligned with your purpose and your values and your vision, then there's a business opportunity for you. Now, that's for people who don't already have something that they are launching as a business. Let's talk about people who do have an existing business and what they can do. So I work with people from all kinds of life, but right now in my mentoring programs and in financial empowerment, I seem to be attracting a lot of coaches, speakers, and trainers. And so I got this from one of my mentors, Chris Robinson. He said, online is the gold mine. And I want to encourage you to do something he told us to do back when COVID first started. Okay, so my first recommendation for any business owner out there who is feeling the crunch of COVID right now, in order to help your business survive and to bring in some cash right now, I'm not, wait, let me rephrase this. Because my very first thing is to go back to my COVID series and look at how you can find grants and how you can find programs to help you through as a business owner, okay? But assuming you have already done that foundation, right? You've already been through my class and you've already done those things, right? What I want you to do, get out there on Google and start typing whatever it is you do. So if you do hair, if you do nails, if you do painting, if you do whatever it is you do, type it into Google, type conference or meeting, and then type postponed or COVID. And this is something he recommended we did at the beginning of COVID, but guess what? Events are still being postponed. In fact, I was really disheartened to find out that FinCon was postponed because I love being at FinCon. I've been leading roundtables at FinCon for a couple of years now, and it's one of my favoriteest conferences. It's for all of the financial planners, right? Well, guess what? There are a whole lot of financial planners out there, of financial coaches and financial bloggers, and a lot of other financial people who haven't weathered the storms that somebody with my years of decades have, and someone with your years of decades. See, I'm a lot older than I look, y'all. I remember when there was no internet, right? And so if you have experience weathering storms, now you have an audience that you can help coach through how to weather these storms. And if you Google your industry, you will find there is an association for almost every industry. You're involved in real estate. There's a lot of real estate investing associations. You're involved in hair. There's a lot of hair associations, beauty associations, painting associations, flooring associations, car associations, and car sales associations. You can find an association for everything. You could even find, I learned this from Sherman Ragland, you could even find an association for people who run associations, okay? So there are associations out there for everything, and they have conferences and they have meetings and they have people who are floundering, who need your ideas, who need your encouragement, who need what you have to offer. Okay. And if they don't need exactly what you have to offer, 9 times out of 10, you can find a way to offer value to those people who would have attended that conference that has now been postponed due to COVID. I had 2 speaking engagements that just postponed. And the very first thing I did was say, hey, if you want me to offer you some value right now, I'm happy to give you a free virtual lunch and learn or a certain virtual session. And when you are rescheduled, I would love to be one of your hired speakers. Not only did I have 2 speaking engagements postponed, but I had a couple of conferences I was just going to attend to network and build my coaching business. And guess what? I did the same script for them. And it works. Okay. So that's one of the things that I want you to do. Now, here's the other thing that I want you to do. And this is way less glamorous, but let me tell you, it's going to pay dividends. All right. Practice. Whatever it is that you do, continue to practice at your craft. So my hairdresser, DJ Swaney, he told me how this whole time of COVID that he's been doing hair and he's been showing people techniques and he's been, continuing to grow his techniques with his mannequins at home. And first of all, I was actually kind of embarrassed that this guy does such a great job with my hair, like all my events. He does my hair for all my events. I can't wait until I make enough money to him to like travel with me everywhere. He did my Mardi Gras makeup when I was on royalty. Just an amazing, talented young man, right? And so to realize I was on his Facebook page, once we became Facebook friends this week, I saw all these videos that he was doing. And you might say, well, I'm not making money with videos. What you're doing, though, is you are laying a foundation that will make you money later. So one of the things that you doing your practice does is it helps you refine your craft, helps you refine your message, and helps you learn what resonates and what doesn't. Like one of the great things about Zoom that I've started using ever since we launched into this whole COVID thing, one of the great things about Zoom is I get to see what resonates with people. One of the disappointing things, sad things about Zoom is I get to see what doesn't resonate. Because what doesn't resonate, people drop off of the Facebook. But it's good market research. When I put a product out there, when I put an infographic out there and I get all kinds of, oh, that's great, oh, that's great, oh, that's nice, but nobody shares it with a friend, I know that, yes, it's great. Yes, it's nice. That you're just being polite to me. It actually isn't hitting the mark, because when I put something out that hits the mark, it gets shared, it gets shared, it gets shared. While you use this time to practice and practice, you will be surprised at how your competitors are sitting on their laurels, or worse, sitting on the couch watching Netflix, and you are getting better, whereas they are starting to slough off. And you can capture some of that market audience while they sit there lamenting that there's nothing for them to do to make money. And when you begin to capture the hearts and minds of your audience, and you begin to communicate the value of what you do to your audience and how they need what you do to help improve their lives, then they begin to compensate you financially. One of the most amazing days in my life is when somebody just sight unseen bought into my programs at full price. And I was like, you don't really have to buy my stuff full price. You have a coupon. And you know what she said? You're worth it. And she's like, I'm following everything that you do. And it made me realize that we have something special. You have something special that nobody else has. Whether we may all have the same message. I mean, there's a ton of financial planners and financial coaches out there. But how many financial planners and coaches got out of $845,000 of debt while being a single military mom? Okay, I have an audience that needs to know they can do it, because I did it. And another financial planner has their own lane and their own audience. So you can find out what your audience is. You can tweak and refine your message, and you can lay the foundation and build the relationships you're going to need when this COVID dust lifts and people are back in business again. All right, so that's number two. Number three is going to be use your skills. And this one was kind of a smack in my face, to be honest with you, because I am the queen of buying course after course after course after course after course after course. And I take this free webinar and I take that free webinar, and then I never do anything with the information. Oh, I'm quick to criticize, right? If you've taken my real estate investing 101 class, you've seen me criticize the guy who did all the real estate courses. He spent $80,000 on real estate investment courses, but he hadn't bought a property yet. And I was like, with $80,000, I could have been done, bought 3 properties in Baltimore, renovated them, and learned from the School of Hard Knocks what to do and what not to do, right? So it's really easy for me to be critical of him in that instance. But when I look at all those personal growth things that are on my shelf or in my portals, and I haven't finished them yet, I realize I need to use my skills, whether I'm offering my talents for free or whether I'm offering my talents for fee. I need to take what I've been given, the gifts that I've been given, and I need to use them. It not only helps me practice, but it helps me do what I was called to do. That energy goes out when you use your gifts and your talents, and you begin to receive abundance in return. Now, I'm not talking about new age wishy-washy stuff, okay? You know, these are all very biblical principles, and I've realized that for me to sit on my laurels until things are perfect, I will never get anywhere. But for me to go ahead and speak, even though I'm dressed for cleaning the house, and I know that I could take an extra half hour to clean up, but to make myself look gorgeous, right? Oh, I kind of am gorgeous. I'm actually losing some weight, y'all. Don't I look good? But for me to sit around and say, I need to be perfect, I need this to be perfect, I need this to be perfect, there's somebody who would have missed out on this message. And there's somebody out there that needs to know they can make it. There's somebody out there that needs to know they will survive this. There's somebody out there that needs to know this is not the end of your business. You are going to bounce back from COVID stronger than ever, and with a stronger financial base and with a bigger audience, and you are going to do the great things that you've been called to do. if you don't give up. And how many of us have these messages in our heart to encourage our sister and our brother, but we let them go because things aren't right or things aren't perfect or we don't feel good enough? I want to let you know today, you have everything in you that you need to accomplish your goals and your dreams. And if you don't have the talent in you, but you have the calling in you, then as you begin to walk forth in it, the doors will begin to open. And this resource will appear, and that mentor will appear, and this teacher will appear, and that opportunity will appear. It's a biblical principle. I want you to walk in abundance, all right? Okay, so another biblical principle, number 4, we're going to ask you to find ways to serve others. Now I want to qualify this. When I hear about being of service to others, a lot of times it's in the context of people who are so busy hustling and grinding that they don't ever take time out to serve others, right? Most of the people that are attracted to me and watch my videos or come on my channel, they are people who are giving hearts. They give, and they don't reserve enough for themselves, okay? So when I say we want to find a way to be of service to others, I want to qualify that and say we want to find ways to be of strategic service to others, okay? It is not just out of the goodness of my heart that I have been offering free 15-minute financial tune-ups for any of my previous paid clients. I'm not just doing that because I want to make sure they're doing okay. I'm absolutely doing that because I want to make sure they're doing okay. And I know this is a scary time for a lot of people financially. However, it is also a strategic move. It is a move that keeps me moving in the direction of my values, my goals, and my calling. If this person wants this free and this person wants that free and this person wants this free, and it's going to take me 5 hours and detract from the time with my family, and you're not paying me, I'm not going to do that because my family value is more stronger than what I value from spending time 5 hours with you when you wouldn't do what I told you to do in the first place. Okay, I said I'm live. I shouldn't have said that. Anybody out there who is a coach, whether you're a financial coach or any other kind of coach, you know exactly what I'm feeling like, right? But I remember that. I remember the day that I drug my family back to the mall, opened up my Kingstown Family Life Center out of cycle, and sat for 2 hours with somebody while they stuffed themselves in a room with cheap pizza that wasn't healthy for them, playing video games, which wasn't healthy for them, and wondering why their mom isn't spending time with them so I could help this person who turned around not to even utilize the tools that I equipped her with. And from that moment on, I realized, no, we're not doing this to my kids anymore. If I'm going to be of service to you and I'm going to give of myself to you, it needs to be aligned with my values and goals. It needs to be strategic. However, I am going to encourage you to be strategic and give to others. Because right now, everybody's in take mode. By being strategic, it doesn't cost you anything to offer a little extra service. It doesn't cost you anything to connect this person with this person. And they will remember who added value, and that adding value is you. All right. All right. Next one, number 6, is update your technology. Now, I have had to take that my own advice, right? Because y'all know I've been loving me some free conference call for a long time. And even though I have a professional account on Zoom, it's amazing. It's an amazing account. It's the business account, right? It's the $1,200 a year account, right? But it's through National Speaker Association. So I can't take the Zoom off the bottom of my screen, and I want to go back. But I realized I have to be able to come up and meet people where they are. And right now, Zoom is easy and it's comfortable and it's familiar for people. So I had to upgrade my video offerings, and I had to break down, and we're getting a new cell phone, and we had to upgrade the internet, and we had to do all these different things because now that we're doing so much from home, we can't go and do the old status quo. What was super amazing for my clients a year ago is now wrote an average right now. Okay. So I'm not saying go learn all this new stuff, go spend thousands of dollars on new technology. I am not saying that at all. I'm actually getting the newer version of my old phone, which is actually an outdated phone by today's standards, but I like the phone. It's very functional, and most of the new phones are more entertainment. So I need something functional, right? But update, be able to keep up with the times. Make sure that you have, now granted, I'm in an empty house right now, so it's kind of echoey, but make sure you have a good lavalier mic or a good plug-in mic like I have in my studio, which is now in Texas, which I did not plan that out very well. So yes, please pray for me, right? A little scatterbrain, right? So update your technology and maybe learn a few new things, but please don't do this. Don't do what I used to do. Who knows what I'm going to say? Wait, I'm going to give a second for those of you who are on the line to tell me, what do you think I'm going to say don't do? Let me see. Don't spend months, years, and thousands of dollars trying to upgrade and make everything perfect. It's more important to execute. It's so much more important to do. If you get on Facebook Live, or if you get on Instagram Live, or if you get on whatever platform allows you to connect with your audience, and you get out there 5 minutes a day, every day, and you are just being transparent and genuine, and you are connecting, you will have a much stronger audience base for your business when COVID lifts than somebody who does once a month, maybe a workshop. Okay, unless you're already a big name. Now, if you're already a big name, thank you for watching. Be sure to plug buildingwealthtogether.com. But if you're not already a big name, consistency and everyday encouragement and leading people to see the value you offer, that is going to get you the big bucks. All right, let's see. I had two more, but I'm rethinking one of them. And I'm rethinking one of them because I don't want people to go off on a rabbit trail. Okay, you don't have time for that. Okay, let's see. Let me combine them because I like sevens. So instead of 8, we'll make it a 7. Wait, we'll combine this. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to look for ways to expand your reach, either via social media or other platforms, but I don't want you to create your own bubble. I want you to leverage other people's bubbles. That didn't come out right. I want you, don't start your own podcast if you don't already have one. If you don't have your own podcast, don't start one. Go to Find a Guest, Be a Guest, and be somebody's guest. Be a guest on mine. I've got a link on my website where you can go to my calendar and you can book a preview call. And if we're a good fit, I'll book you on Building Wealth Together. Yes, I know. I'm going to give a shout out to Monica Jordan with Purse Strings. And I'm going to give a shout out to Linda Hannon with Money Made Easy. I know you're still waiting for me to edit your interviews. They are in my office in Texas with the rest of my household goods. So they will not be edited until I move into my husband's house. I am so sorry. They're like, okay, JJ, your dad died, and this happened, and then that happened. Okay, so yes, I am a little bit behind on 2 interviews that I have been owing people to get done. They're fantastic interviews. You're gonna love them. But don't go create your own podcast. Don't just start up a blog if you're not a writer. I mean, if you're a prolific writer, you already know you're a prolific writer because you are the kind of person like me that has to trim out your emails before you send them because they're all like 4 pages long, right? If you're not already a prolific writer and that's not your jam, don't just blog because you want to build an audience. Leverage other people's blogs, leverage other people's podcasts, okay? All right, so that's 7 things that you can do right now in time of COVID. I have seen so many people who are making money with creative ways to implement their business, and you can find those creative ways. Let me give you some examples that you may not even heard of before. So I was in the CVS picking up some stuff, and right there next to where you pick up your pharmacies, there was a lady with a name tag, so I asked her for help, and she helped me, and then I noticed she had on one of those makeup belts. With all the different brushes to get all the look that you want. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I thought you worked here. And she said, I do work here. I said, but you've got makeup brushes. I didn't know anybody does makeup in a CVS. And she said, well, what we do is a new program called Feel More Like Yourself. And this new program is especially geared towards oncology patients and others that have a lot of things that are medically
debilitating, not only physically, but mentally. And what she does is she helps people be able to find the right shade of lipstick or the right contouring or something to make them feel better about themselves, because the disease that they're carrying makes them feel so poorly. I identified with that right away because many of you will remember in May, I had a really bad case of shingles. And so if you can't really tell with the screen, that's why I stopped wearing this. But when I'm in person, I try to either wear the long sleeves or I have the sleeve that I bought, right? Because my arm is all scarred up. Now, granted, maybe it's because my technology is old and the screen's not that bad. You really can't see it as bad here, but it makes me very self-conscious to have all these lines of scarring from this attack of shingles. So I immediately resonated with what she's doing. If you have a field that has been kind of drawn down because of COVID, I want to encourage you to look for creative ways, like what this young makeup artist is doing, to apply your craft, apply your skill, apply your talents in novel ways that both benefit the community and your bottom line. I'm JJ Conway. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me today on Wealth Building Wednesday. I can't wait until I can get back to where I have a studio and I can actually do some more professional things. But if you like this content, let me know so that I can do these more professional and actually launch them for others to hear. I love you guys so much for supporting me with all of the things that have gone on in the last couple of years. I'm super excited for the military retirement. Make sure you go to my website. Everything is currently free, but let me tell you, once I go on terminal leave, the free is going away, y'all, because it's going to be time for me to earn. Or if there's something you've been wanting to sign up for and it hasn't been available to you, now is the time. Go to buildingwealthtogether.com. If nothing else, you register on the site that puts you in my mailing list and you will get these kinds of encouragements and notices all the time. Wait, no, not all the time. I don't spam. I really should have scripted that out. Okay, y'all have a good night. Take care and be blessed.
If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe at jjconway.org. Now go walk in abundance and leave a legacy.